Those in southern Ontario are used to hearing about a housing crunch, but now signs of those higher prices and tighter rental markets are spreading north. Here to explain, Nick Dunne, who covers the Northeast for our Ontario hubs. Welcome, Nick.
Thanks, Jan.
All right, so housing prices and therefore rental prices have increased quite a bit, even in the last year in parts of northern Ontario. What have you discovered?
Yeah, so the article I wrote for TVO.org focused on North Bay, which is about 4 hours north of Toronto on Highway 11. We've seen a spike in the past 2 years. To give you a good sense of things, in 2011, the median residential home price was $210,000. By the first quarter of 2019, it was $234,000, about a $24,000 increase over that 8 year span. In the second quarter of 2021, we're at $380,000. That's nearly $150,000
Wow.
more in the past 2 years.
That's a pretty big spike. Now, when we talk about the housing market, we usually talk about kind of the domino effect that southwestern Ontario and Toronto has on the other markets. Is the market different in northern Ontario in that aspect?
Yeah, there are a few main differences here. I mean, I think the chiefly primarily among them is the fact that there is development in southern Ontario. It's largely unaffordable. It's over that 30% of your annual income for a lot of folks. But you're seeing those developments being done through condominiums and whatnot. In northern Ontario, the supply has remained relatively the same. There's very little development here relative to southern Ontario, and populations have typically stagnated, if not declined. So that's why things have been, relatively stable for that period of time. With houses getting older and older, and not much developing, new developments rather, to improve and keep the housing stock new. But all of a sudden, we're seeing this surge of demand, both from people looking to have an easier investment. It's a lot easier to purchase a home in North Bay than it is even in Aurelia.
Hmm.
So it's easier from an investment perspective, and people are also looking to move north with more space, less crowding around those kind of COVID anxieties.
Now, I understand you got quite the response from people when you were putting the call out for this story. Why do you think you got such a response?
Well, I think one reason is that this is such a new phenomenon in Northern Ontario. That kind of housing squeeze that we've seen in the South hasn't manifested nearly the same here. And I think another factor that's important to mention is that even though housing prices here are very affordable relative to the rest of the province, they're not necessarily affordable locally. I mean, the other half of that equation is income here. We have more people who are on, say, disability, higher rates of chronic illness. We have an older population here, more people on fixed income. And there's just generally fewer industries that are present here. So even though it looks very attractive, it may not necessarily be more affordable when we look at the income side of things in Northern Ontario.
I want to talk about some of the people that you spoke to. You said that you focused in North Bay. Tell us what they had to say.
Yeah, well, I spoke to a number of people, but one individual, Kathy LaFrance, she's a single mother taking care of two sons and a grandchild. She was living in a situation where she had a bit of a sweetheart deal from a relative, but that arrangement no longer worked out. She found herself in a market where she was paying more than double, or rather, she's looking at prices that are more than double than what she was paying for, around $1,400 a month. And Kathy is a student. She's studying to become a paralegal, so she doesn't have that income coming in right now. So she's been priced out of North Bay. She's moved to Mattawa with her stepdad and has to make that 60-kilometer commute every day for school and her work placement. Another individual I spoke with was Daniel Bork. He moved out of North Bay in 2018. He was paying around $850 a month for a two-bedroom at one point in North Bay. Moved back here in 2020, and prices were at around $1,100, $1,200 a month for a two-bedroom. Very sharp increase over that time. He's since had to be put back on the market again because the landlord is selling the property, or has sold the property rather. And he's looking right now at prices for a two-bedroom that are around $1,300, $1,400 a month. He has two boys, a wife, and they're looking at potentially being homeless. If they don't find a spot within their price range, or they have to move out of the city of North Bay.
Well, let's talk about some potential relief. As we know, we're in the middle of an election. The federal parties have all announced some sort of promise in regards to housing, some more vague than the others. But are there any commitments that you've seen in any of the party platforms that make sense for Northern Ontario and northern communities?
There hasn't been anything specific to Northern Ontario. Obviously, there's been some commitments to the territories and some northern regions of a few provinces. But as far as Northern Ontario specific solutions, I haven't seen any real federal campaign platforms that address Northern Ontario specifically. I mean, obviously, there's a bent towards affordable housing. The Liberals are saying they're going to build 100,000 affordable homes, and they're going to retrofit 1.5 million homes for energy efficiency. The NDP says they're going to build 500,000 affordable units, and the Conservatives have pledged 1 million homes in the first 3 years. But there's nothing really said there about what kind of units they are. So the right mix of housing, you're talking about detached houses, apartment complexes, purpose-built rentals. That hasn't really been made clear yet. And the other big question is where these homes are going to be. Are they going to focus mainly on urban areas where there's that growth, where there's that population density and that demand? These aren't, a place like Northern Ontario isn't necessarily growing in terms of its population. There isn't that same demand, but there is demand insofar as homes here are older, state of disrepair in a larger percentage at least. And we're seeing that squeeze, right, in the rental market, and this large increase in the past 2 years in home prices. So I think homeowners, people on ODSP, like everyone's feeling it here, I think. So as far as the federal election is concerned, there are some pretty big questions as far as northern and rural regions in this country.
Something we will continue to follow. Nick Dunne, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
The Agenda in the Summer with Nan Kiwanuka is made possible through generous philanthropic contributions from viewers like you. Thank you for supporting TVO's journalism.